Coming up on First at 4, a new partnership aimed at helping people across the Commonwealth develop healthier habits in the post-COVID era. And people in 2 communities who have dealt with gun violence take a stand against the problem.
And this week we're skipping spring and heading straight to summer for a bit. The latest on a midweek warm-up ahead as Mountain News First at 4 starts right now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, March marks 3 years since the COVID-19 pandemic began in the United States. Studies from America's HealthRankings.org show the effects of the pandemic are still being felt across the Commonwealth. The Foundation for a Healthy Kentucky and Cabinet for Health and Family Services announced a partnership today to encourage Kentuckians to improve immunity and overall health. It's through a new campaign called Raise Your Guard, Kentucky.
In getting healthier, Kentuckians can better deal with chronic conditions, and they also have a better chance of fending off the next virus, be it another COVID variant or something else.
Chandler says the goal for the campaign is to encourage Kentuckians to eat well, move more, stay up to date on vaccines, among a list of other things. WYMT's Olivia Calfee will have more on this tonight at 6. As part of Sexual Assault Awareness Month, officials with the Rising Center hosted a honk to prevent sexual violence in Hazard today. The center offers support and education on assault throughout the region. Rising Center Community Outreach Coordinator Dylan Mosley says he wants to spread awareness for victims.
Just to get as much, responsibly possibly can, just to combat sexual violence and to be there for the survivors. And we have events planned all April long. So we're doing this today and we're doing this on the 28th as well.
At 6, we have more from Mosley on statistics about sexual assault in eastern Kentucky and how the organization is hoping to give a voice to those who've been silenced.
Well, looking at a rather dry day for most of us as we start to get those warmer temperatures back into the region. You thought today was warm. I got news for you as we head toward tomorrow. Pinpoint Doppler, it's mostly quiet. A few showers far southern parts of the region as you head into Bell County, trying to sneak into Knox County, even into parts of Lee County, Virginia. As of right now, this is mostly light, not making much of a difference. We had the camera from here in Hazard. It's not nighttime yet, but 72 the current reading. Temperatures region-wide continue to be on the warm side. There's the view from downtown Somerset where we have some clouds, but we are dry. Those clouds have kept us a little cooler out that way into the middle and upper 60s. Most of us low to mid 70s. Look at Wayne, West Virginia sitting at 75, so the mild air already working in. We'll continue to see in your forecast first that mild air through the nighttime hours, only falling into the mid 60s out there, or mid 50s I should say, as we head out there tonight. Steve, I've got details on a big time warm up and also a return to some stormy weather. Those details in a few minutes.
All right, Evan, thank you. The demand for stronger gun laws continues to increase after the Covenant School shooting 1 week ago. The group March for Our Lives hosted a school walkout this morning at 10:13. That's the moment 1 week ago when Nashville Metro Police got the call for an active shooter at the school. March for Our Lives is a youth-led organization started by the high school students who survived the Parkland, Florida school shooting in 2018. Since then, they have hosted protests throughout the country and have become a national organization with more than 100 chapters. A church in Roanoke, Virginia organized a memorial service to remember victims of gun violence this afternoon. Patsy Montesinos has more.
I hope today will be a meaningful memorial.
Community members in Roanoke gathered to remember recent victims of gun violence. Reverend Tim Harvey says he wanted to acknowledge shootings continue to take lives.
When they happened less frequently, I think they touched us more, and we would be quicker to stop and acknowledge these horrific losses of life. And we don't do that anymore, and that bothered me.
Those who attended said the victims' names from the recent shooting in Nashville, Tennessee, where 3 kids and 3 adults were killed.
People are killed for
Retired pastor Marilyn Lurch shared her experience as a gun violence survivor.
2007, on April 17th, I was in Blacksburg.
Lurch was a campus pastor at Virginia Tech, where 32 people were killed almost 16 years ago.
I was numb myself that my alma mater, I'm a Tech graduate, would have this kind of event even happen on campus. I always felt safe in Blacksburg, and all of a sudden I began to wonder.
She says an experience like that leaves a mark forever.
It just changes your whole life when you're involved in something like that. There were students in great grief.
Harvey says he would like to see gun reform in the country.
We used to have an assault weapon ban, and when that went away, these events started to happen more frequently. And so I think there's room there to have some hard conversations.
The memorial ended with a prayer and the hope to mobilize the community.
As a pastor, I believe in prayer. I get a little tired of the phrase thoughts and prayers. And so today was a call to pray, but it was also a call to action.
Numbers from the Pew Research Center and the CDC indicate more Americans died of gun-related injuries in 2020 than any other year on record. That's the most recent numbers available. Former President Donald Trump is now in New York ahead of his arraignment tomorrow. He just arrived within the last half hour. He is the first former president in the United States to face criminal charges. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office has been looking into Trump's reported role in a hush money payment scheme and cover-up involving adult film star Stormy Daniels dating back to the 2016 presidential election. The former president has said he will deliver remarks following the arraignment tomorrow evening. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has left the nation's capital for an overseas trip. Blinken departed Joint Base Andrews to travel to Brussels. While there, he will participate in NATO meetings. The trip also comes as Finland prepares to officially join NATO in the coming days. Finland and Sweden applied to become part of the NATO alliance shortly after Russia carried out its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. People in Paris, France have voted against renewing the licenses of free-floating electric scooter operators in the city. That makes Paris the first European capital to completely ban such service. Nearly 9 out of 10 of the city's registered voters cast their ballots against those electric scooters. The ban is due to concerns about public safety on the city's sidewalks, despite proposals from operators to improve safety regulations. The free-floating electric scooters must be removed from Paris's streets by August of this year. Coming up on First at 4, NASA introduces the 4 astronauts who will fly on the Artemis